Thanks to our friend who supported the channel financially in the previous video. And before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel financially. Ryu paused, letting the words sink in. In the next 13th round, Black Scythe will come looking for you. Russell's eyes widened in shock and inquired, "What? Black Scythe? Why would someone like him look for me? He doesn't even know me. He doesn't even know me," Ryu admitted. "He doesn't, but he soon will, because I'm going to tell him to meet you." The meaning was clear and terrifying. Russell's voice trembled. Wait, do you mean you actually know Black Scythe?" Ryu replied with a calm nod. "Yes, somehow we ended up becoming acquainted." Russell sat back, staring in awe. Slowly, his shock shifted to realization. If Ryu was truly a prophet, then of course he would know the true identity of Black Scythe. Russell laughed nervously and said, "To think you have such a terrifying man as an acquaintance. Ha, prophet, you must have nerves of steel," Ryu asked curiously. "Is Black Scythe really that frightening?" Russell's voice rose. "Of course. While others run 1 lap, he runs 10 without breaking a sweat. He takes first place as easily as eating breakfast. In many ways, he's a monster." Ryu's lips curved faintly. He already knew this, but it was amusing to hear others describe him this way. Then Russell asked anxiously, "But what am I supposed to do when I meet him?" Ryu explained. "For you to grow in the 13th round, you'll need his help, to be specific." And then, with careful words, he laid out the strategy for the coming round. Russell listened with rapt attention, nodding vigorously. "I see. So that's why I need to meet him. I understand," Ryu assured, saying, "I'll talk to him as well. He'll come to help you, but just in case, prove your worth when you meet him." He inquired. "My worth?" Ryu explained. "Your blacksmith buffs. Show him what you can do. He'll realize your value." Russell clenched his fists, determination burning in his eyes, and said, "Got it." As Russell nodded, Ryu allowed himself a small smile and said to himself, "With this, I've linked Russell and Black Scythe. A blacksmith is a supporter, a buffer. If we stick together until the 20th round, he'll be invaluable." Just then, Ryu's phone buzzed. He glanced at the caller ID, Ju Seong-tak. Ryu said to himself, "It must have started." He excused himself politely, saying, "Please excuse me for a moment," Russell replied. "Of course, prophet. Take your time." Stepping aside, Ryu answered, "What's the situation?" "Ma Kyung-rok just arrived at a warehouse. He's pacing outside, smoking, waiting for someone." Ryu said, "He must be waiting for the offering. What's the location?" He said, "Bongbaesan, Gwangju, Gyeonggi Province." Ryu Min's eyes sharpened. As he expected, it was Ma Kyung-rok's usual hideout. Ryu said, "Good. Send me the exact location via text. Keep watching. When the time comes, join Jeffrey and follow the plan." He said, "Understood." After ending the call, Ryu immediately contacted Jeffrey. "Jeffrey, what about Christine?" Jeffrey replied, "She just landed in Korea." Ryu said, "Perfect. Lead her to the location I'm sending. You remember what to say, right?" He said, "Of course." Ryu said, "Then proceed immediately." Jeffrey said, "I'll carry out your orders." After sending the location to Jeffrey, Ryu switched his tone. This time, when he dialed Seo Aaron, he spoke in the voice of Black Scythe. On the other hand, Ma Kyung-sang and Ma Kyung-soo were never the type of brothers who shared laughs or warm memories. No, their childhood was spent under the watchful eye of a strict father who raised them not as sons, but as rivals. From the beginning, the family's massive fortune, the Osung Group, was the prize, and they were merely players on a bloody chessboard. So, every glance was filled with suspicion. Every word was sharpened like a blade. Sure, they bickered like ordinary brothers, but behind those arguments was always the same thought. He's my competition. If he wins, I lose. To them, money wasn't just power, it was survival. And the other, just an obstacle in the way. But fate has a cruel sense of humor. Their endless rivalry, years of scheming, fighting, and outmaneuvering collapsed in a single moment last year. Because it wasn't either of them who started climbing toward victory. It was their eldest brother, Ma Kyung-rok. Ma Kyung-rok's company began to grow, Little by little at first, but soon enough, it was undeniable. He was proving himself. He was getting closer and closer to fulfilling their father's conditions for succession. And for Kyung-sang and Kyung-soo, that was unacceptable. So the two enemies joined hands. A temporary truce, a fragile alliance built on nothing but desperation. That night, inside a quiet apartment, the brothers sat across from each other. Kyung-soo, the youngest, leaned forward, eyes glimmering with ambition. He said smoothly, "Kyung, have you thought of a plan?" Kyung-sang frowned, rubbing his chin. His face was calm, but his eyes betrayed hesitation, and he said, "Yeah, I thought of a few, but it seems your plan, Kyung-soo, is the best." A sly grin spread across the younger's lips, and he said, "Right? It's realistic. High success rate, too." Kyung-sang gave a reluctant nod, saying, "Yeah, seems that way." The plan was simple, brutally simple. They would kidnap Kyung-rak on his way home from work, masks on, weapons ready, and then they'd force him into a duel where the rules were bent in their favor, a duel he couldn't possibly win. Of course, Ma Kyung-rak would refuse, but with a knife to his throat or a gun pointed at his chest, what choice would he have? None. He would accept, trembling, maybe even crying, and once he did, the game was already over. Kyung-soo's smile widened as he explained, voice dripping with confidence. "Kyung, once he accepts, it's finished. The duel's outcome will decide succession, and we'll make sure the odds are on our side. Kyung-rak will lose everything, his pride, his position, his chance at Osung." Kyung-sang hesitated and said, "And then, it'll just be between us?" Kyung-soo's gaze hardened and he said, "That's right. But until then, no backstabbing. Got it, Kyung?" Kyung-sang scoffed, raising an eyebrow. "Backstab you? Me? You're the one I should be worried about." They both chuckled, lightly, uneasily. But deep inside, Kyung-soo's thoughts were darker than his words, and he said to himself, "Once Kyung-rak's gone, you're next, brother." Yet even as they schemed, cracks began to show. Kyung-sang asked suddenly, his voice uncertain, "What if Kyung-rak resists? Do we really have to fight to the death?" Kyung-soo's eyes flashed with irritation. Pathetic, he thought, staring at his brother. The second son of Osung, and he's trembling like a child. Still, he forced a reassuring tone. "Yeah, maybe. We'll try not to kill him, but if he resists too much." His lips curled, and a chilling gleam lit up his eyes, saying, "We'll have to kill him." Kyung-sang's face twisted in shock and said, "Hey, isn't that going too far? Killing him is—" Kyung-soo snapped, saying, "Then what about kidnapping? Is that okay, Hyung?" He said, "That's still better than murder." Kyung-soo leaned closer, his voice low and sharp as a blade. "Do you think you can inherit Osung without blood on your hands? Or are you planning to bail out after we've already gone too far?" The older brother swallowed hard, stammering, and said, "No, I was just thinking, maybe there's another way." Kyung-soo said coldly, "That's why we're giving him a choice. A duel or death. Either way, he's finished." Kyung-sang looked away, muttering under his breath. "Still, don't you ever get a strange feeling about him? Kyung-rak Hyung, sometimes his eyes, they give me chills, like he could be a serial killer or something." Kyung-soo burst out laughing, saying, "What? You think Kyung-rak is scary? Don't tell me you're chickening out, Hyung," he said. No, I'm not scared. I'm just saying," Kyung-soo said. "Don't worry about it. He's not Black Scythe. Between the two of us, we'll crush him," Kyung-sang muttered. Yeah, but the unease in his eyes never faded. Later that night, in the underground parking lot of Kyung-sang's apartment, the brothers parted ways. Kyung-soo smirked as he slid into his Porsche and said, "Hyung, let's finalize everything tomorrow." Kyung-sang waved, turning toward the elevator, saying, "Fine, text me the details." But as soon as Kyung-soo started the car, beep, beep, a red warning light flashed. He stepped out, crouching beside the front tire, and shouted, "What the? Damn it, it's flat." Kyung-sang frowned and inquired, "All of a sudden, there's a hole here. Someone must have slashed it." The older brother crossed his arms, scolding. "Didn't I tell you? Stop sneaking out at dawn to race with your car club," Kyung-soo snapped, saying, "Hyung, I quit that ages ago. Besides, this wasn't an accident. Someone did this." Sighing, he muttered, "Guess I'll have to borrow your car." Reluctantly, Kyung-sang groaned. "Fine, wait here, I'll get the keys." Left alone in the dimly lit parking lot, Kyung-soo lit a cigarette. He raised the lighter, but the flame wouldn't catch. He cursed under his breath. "Shh, come on." That's when he felt it, a presence, a shadow approaching fast. He said, "Hyung, you're already back." But a shield slammed into his face. His body crumpled like a rag doll. Darkness swallowed him whole. Minutes later, Kyung-sang returned, keys dangling in his hand, and he said, "Kyung-soo, where are you?" "Hey!" He froze. On the ground lay his brother's cigarette and lighter. He inquired, "What's this?" Kyung-soo's confusion clouded his his face. He bent down, picking them up, only to sense movement. He turned, relieved, and said, "Oh, Kyung-soo, there you are!" The shield struck again, this time against his face. His vision exploded with stars before everything went black. In the shadows, a man stood tall, adjusting his grip on the shield. And Sang Cheol. Without a flicker of emotion, he dragged the unconscious brothers toward a van. Pulling out his phone, his voice was calm, almost casual. "It's done, sir. Yes, I'll bring them in now." The van's engine roared to life, and in seconds it disappeared into the night, taking with it two ambitious brothers whose schemes had ended before they even began. You will find the full manhwa in the first comment or at the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe there.